Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I do videos on junk journaling, a little bit of art, maybe a little bit of baking, just different, just crafty hobbies, I guess. Um, Today I am doing an art journal with me video, and as you can see, I already had a background that I had prepped up. That was really just scribbles and blobs of paint. So what I'm doing right now is kind of harmonizing my palette. I added a little bit of yellow to all the colors that I was using so that they would have the same undertone. And then I am just using the different colors. I'm using like a fluorescent pink, a bright orange, green, blue, and I am just adding some marks. And I'm pretty much just letting the brush do the work. Here's that fluorescent red. I love that color. And I am just doing like little dabs with the brush. I'm doing lines. I'm doing little dots and just lines in different directions. So this is just fun. I don't really think about it too much. So yeah. And then here's the green that at first it looked out of place, but I love that green so much I didn't even care. And now I am adding some beige to kind of neutralize that and send all those blobs to the background. And I added some white because that beige that I used was just a little bit too blah. So I wanted to brighten up the background a little bit. I had some leftover paint on my brayer and my jelly plate. So I am just rubbing that on onto another sketchbook so that I have a page prepped next time I decide to do something. And now I am sketching in a face. And I'm not really using a guide or anything. There are ways that you can measure to make sure that your eyes are a normal distance apart, because drawings don't really have to be realistic as long as you have the eyes where the eyes go and a nose kind of the same, like an average distance from the eyes, and then the same thing for the lips. If you don't do this, then your faces can look a little bit wonky, and you'll see that mine does because I didn't do any kind of measuring or use a reference. But this was just for fun. I just wanted to draw. I have done several like sketches where I actually use a reference and measure the distance, and it does look a lot better. But it's your call. So I am using just like a generic drawing pencil here. And as you can see, even though this is sped up, I'm doing short little strokes. So I'm not going in and doing like these big decisive lines. It's just easier to have a hold of your drawing if you just do little short strokes at a time. And then later you can go in and add a little bit more detail. And around this point, I start to realize like it's gonna take a long time for me to fill in all of her hair with the black pencil. So I decide to give her some blue hair instead. And I bring in my paints for that. Now I'm going back into her face with one of these. It's like a charcoal pencil that's water activated. I don't know what they're called. I think one of the brands is Stabilo, but I have, I think, a generic brand. And so I'm using a brush and I'm using the pencil to get some detail in, to color in her pupils, make sure that they're dark, because the pupil of the pupils of the eyes, the pupils are one of the darkest spots on the face. So you want to make sure that those are really dark. And I used to work at a makeup counter, so I love putting lashes on anything that I draw. So she got some big full lashes there. And then I'm using the pen again to kind of add in some shading. And yeah, I don't know. I was just having fun with it. And that's what I was doing. And now I'm working on the lips, which I struggled with them a little bit. I tried to make them a little bit realistic. And I feel like sometimes I struggle with this when like realistic drawings is what most people consider beautiful. And I guess part of me is like I want to learn how to draw very realistic things, but really my hand just wants to kind of like scribble things on. And so yeah, I am a new artist. If I could call myself that. I make art, so I'm an artist, right? But no, so I do kind of go back and forth between like trying to draw realistic and just kind of following and being intuitive in my art. And anyways, going back to the makeup counter thing, I gave her lashes and then I gave her a little bit of crazy makeup. Now I'm adding some white to her eyes just to make them pop a little bit and some highlights to the lips. And I feel like I went overboard, so then I bring in a little bit of pink and I added a darker pink to the lips too. Now I pulled out my commonplace book, which is where if you don't know what that is, it's just a book where you keep quotes that you like. So I was trying to find a quote to add some text to this painting. And I mixed in this blue and it was perfect. But I watered down the paint too much and so it was just looking too faded. So I had to go back in with a less watered down color, and I already had the paint on the palette, so I just went with it. I do wish it was a little bit more teal and less green, but this is what we got. I also didn't write the quote correctly. I missed the word winter. So if you know this quote, then you know it's wrong. I also pulled out some markers because I was thinking about doing some more marks, but I ended up just adding some white to the text, and I could go either way on that. With or without, I think I like it. And I also added some little white marks to her hair, but I either lost the footage or didn't record it, so you'll see a little bit of that at the end. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this journaling session. If you have any questions about any of the products that I use, just let me know and I'll try my best to let you know exactly what I used. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.